Hey guys, Diane here with the Green Eyed Monster Review, and today, as you can see, I have my lovely husband Rico here with me.
Hello, I'm feeling lovely.
So I thought it would be kind of fun to suggest some horror books for Rico. He's not really into the horror genre. He gets scared very easily, sleeps with a nightlight, all those things.
None of those are true. I love horror. I sleep with no nightlight.
That sounds like someone who sleeps with a nightlight. I do not.
The lights are on. That's why I don't sleep with a nightlight.
Okay, so I just figured I'd get. So I have 8 books here I figured that you could just pick and choose and see which ones really kind of speak to you.
8? All right.
I'm just saying you can pick.
All right. So we did another video that was similar to this where I recommended fantasy books, the genre, and most of those books I didn't read. I hadn't read yet. But you've read all of these, right?
I've read all of these, yes. So I figured I would. I guess I could have chosen some but we are already thinking about some books. Another video to do books that you haven't.
Yeah,
read,
on occasion I'll read books that you haven't read yet. Like we'll read them together.
Yeah.
But
but this I just thought it would be kind of fun just to see. Why don't you tell them what kind of books you do like? Give them an example of like some horror that you've read that you did enjoy.
Horror that I did enjoy. Well, we always talk about The Fisherman. That's probably one of my favorites. Another one, I'm trying to think of any of the other ones. I've read a lot of some Stephen King, not a lot. Maybe, that's a relative term. But I liked, The Shining was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
The Stand, even though that one's like not...
Yeah, it's kind of borderline horror.
I like that one a lot, but that's like the biggest book I've ever read. Have you read that book?
I have read that book.
Or was that Audible?
I listened to it, but I could have read it if I wanted to.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, for the record, I think I've read the longest book out of the two of us. Maybe I should start my own channel.
I listened to the extended version. So technically...
No, that's what I read. The extended version.
You didn't,
but
okay.
I did. I don't know. I can't think of any other horror books off the top of my head.
Okay, so those are all relatively well-known, books.
Yeah,
Nothing really...
Yeah, I'm not going off the beaten path to read a horror book. Most of them I don't feel like are good anyway.
Yeah, well, get off my channel. Just kidding. Okay, so first we're going to start with Slade House by David Mitchell. And I chose this book because, to me, it felt more fantasy, really, than it did horror. So I felt like this would be something more along the lines that you would enjoy.
It's about a house?
It is about a house, but This is a special house. It only appears under certain circumstances. Only certain people are really called to it, so you can only get to it under very rare circumstances. And once you get in, your sense of reality is really kind of attacked, and you don't really understand what reality is anymore. So it's really it says it's mind-bending and genre melting. So I felt like that would be something more up your alley. I enjoyed it. It's not one of my favorite reads, so I felt like you would probably like it since I didn't enjoy it.
It sounds cool.
Much. It did sound really good.
What does that sound like? I'm trying to think. I feel like there's that theme, like where you can't find it.
I guess you could compare it to A House of Leaves, which I didn't finish, but I did. So. No,
you didn't. No, you didn't finish it. You read like not even a third of it.
Yeah, I know. It was a joke because people. I mean, who's really?
You were like, oh, this is too much work.
It is too much work. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, if it doesn't come easy, I'm not.
Yeah, we paid like $30 for this book, and she didn't even read it.
It does look good on the shelf.
No one can see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. That sounds cool. Yeah.
Okay. So next we have Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward, and everybody already knows this is like my favorite book. So I figured, I really hesitated actually trying to get him to read this because I already know. He's just going to dump all over it and be so critical.
It's your most favorite book? Is that what you said?
It probably is. I think the only book that really tops this would either be Stephen King's It, which that book is not only a really good book, but it's very nostalgic for me. And it's like one of the first horror books I ever read. So it does have a special place versus this I just really fell in love with. And just a brief synopsis. So this is about a man and his daughter and their cat. And it's... they all have a point of view in the book, and you're really trying to figure out whose reality is actual.
The cat has a point of view?
The cat does have a point of view.
I'm going to crap all over this book.
Who says that? Okay, so you're going to read it. It doesn't matter. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, I'll commit to a certain number. You said you have 8. I'll commit to...
I have 8, yes. Well, just
I will. I'm going to hear you out,
them.
but that sounds boring.
Well, it doesn't matter. That book I would do.
It's a whole chapter of the cat just like meowing.
No, it's not meowing. It's stupid.
Like using the litter box and...
It's not that kind of cat. It's a sophisticated cat.
Is it like a...
He uses
Does he
the
wear
toilet.
a bow tie? He's trained. Okay, all
right. So we'll see how that goes. Just based on this conversation, I don't have much faith in you. It's not the book, it's you.
Oh, okay.
Let's get that clear. Okay, so next we have The Deep by Nick Cutter. And the reason I chose this book was because I felt like he needed a book that would really get into horror, that would really be quintessential horror.
I've heard you talk about this guy, this Nick Cutter guy. Like, I don't know if it's for me.
Well, I feel like that maybe you should try. I feel like this is one of his best, so I felt like that's where I would start. I almost did Little Heaven, but I was like, that's really long, and that's probably a little more than what he's really ready for. So I chose The
ready
Deep.
For?
I'm just saying, like, you don't really, like.
I don't like torture porn. If that's what this is.
I don't like that either.
Okay.
Only occasionally. So anyways, but The Deep, so this is about, there has been a plague that's broken out, and it's called the Gets, and it's people just forget. They forget to eat. They really just deteriorate and just kind of die. And so they're thinking that they found a cure deep in the Mariana Trench. And so it's really about 2 brothers. One brother is a scientist, and he's already in the Mariana Trench searching for a cure, and the other brother is attempting to go down. And so it's just the story of, them kind of mending together. It's really claustrophobic. There is some body horror, but it goes with the book. It's not just grotesque just to be grotesque for the fun of it. So,
are they on the ship? They're on the ship the entire time then?
No, they're not on a ship the entire time, and it's not a ship. It's kind of like an underwater.
Submarine?
No, it's not it's not really a submarine. They're in a pod at some point, but it's kind of like an underwater lab.
Okay.
So, but it does feel more claustrophobic because you're under the ocean. But, and then next we have Era by Christopher Golden, and I just finished this, and I really enjoyed it. And so I feel like this is going to be a book that I would feel like it would be kind of hard not to enjoy it. So this is about a group of archaeologists, and they go to Mount Ararat because they think that they found the Ark. They think they found...
Always an archaeologist, isn't it? They're always uncovering something. Oh, here's a door here. Here's an artifact.
Just sit at home.
Now it's the end of the world. Yeah, like...
Leave stuff alone, okay?
Real.
Just stop. So they go to Mount Ararat, and they think that they've discovered Noah's Ark. And it just goes... this is, to me, I think I kind of told you about it.
They found a boat?
Well, just they think they found Noah's Ark, so you know what that is, don't you?
Yeah.
And
no, I don't. What is that?
So to me, this almost felt like Prometheus-esque. Like they're discovering something, and they find something a lot darker than they expected.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed this, so I have a feeling that you would like that. I think you would like it. And then next we have The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. And I chose this book because it can fall under a lot of different genres.
You've said that I would like this book in the past. I just
haven't read it.
Yeah, I don't even know what it's about. A library, I'm assuming, at Mount Char.
Yeah. So this is about kind of like it's kind of about a family, and it's almost like a cult, I guess, is more of what you would call it. And they're all under the rule of the father. And he's gone missing, and they're all trying to find him.
Okay.
You've heard me talk about it before.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about this book.
And they're all trying to find him. And once they kind of, in their search for him, they're finding out other things. They're finding out why they've all been kind of put together, and why, and what that really means for them, and what that really means for really the rest of the world. And so I feel like this is something that you would like because you like things that are a little more, this isn't really, like I said, it could be a lot of different things. It could be horror. It could be fantasy. It could be, true crime. It almost kind of feels like a Quentin Tarantino kind of mashup, things like that.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of violence, but there's some humor in it as well. So I felt like this, out of all of them, I feel like possibly that this would be the one that you'd probably enjoy the most.
Okay.
So,
sounds cool.
We'll see about that one. And then this one I kind of was like, should I put it on there? Should I not? But I figured I'd give you the choice. And that's The Children of Red Peak. And this is a book about a cult. You've never read a cult book?
Yeah, I don't know if I have. If I have, I couldn't tell you.
Well, you really only read sci-fi, basically. And fantasy.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And Warhammer stuff.
Yeah. No, I don't. That's nerd stuff. I don't do that, for the record.
You do, but okay. So The Children of Red Peak is about a cult, and there's a group of kids that have survived the cult, and it's a dual timeline between how the cult kind of came into being and what it turned into, and then it follows the timeline of the kids as they've gotten older and how the past and the present are going to intersect and what that means for them.
So they pretty much, it's just two timelines and you're just kind of filling in the blanks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I feel like a lot of books do that.
Yeah.
A lot of books do that.
I felt like this one did it fairly well. I wasn't a big fan of this book, but the only reason I chose it was because I felt like it'd be something that you would like.
Okay.
And you've never read a cult book before. And this is a pretty tame
we
cult
did just
book.
read that one not too long ago.
What one?
It was like a short book. I don't know what it was called.
Oh, The Agents of Dreamland?
Yeah. I'm sure I've read other cult books. I feel like they're all kind of the same, right? Something
that was
weird's
like
kind
less
of
than 100
happening.
pages.
There's always something weird that happens, and then you're like, is it real? Is it not? Oh, it is real. And then the story ends.
Well, you don't have to read that one.
This one?
Yeah, The Children of Red Peak. I just figured.
Oh, it sounds like I just summed up what happens.
Actually, you did.
Okay, all right, so that
maybe not that one. Okay, I guess I'll just go ahead and exit out because you're not gonna. You already read it, apparently.
Who put this list together?
Okay, so next we have The Dark Between the Trees by Fiona Barnett. And this book, do you remember this book?
I've never heard about this book before.
Okay, so this is another dual timeline, but this is pretty much about a forest, Mosby Woods, and it's haunted. There's a lot of lore around this. There's some soldiers that went missing in the 1600s.
Oh, yeah.
And then a group of PhD. I think either they're going for their PhD or they have it, and they're going to see if they can solidify any evidence for people going missing there and all these strange occurrences that happen there. And this was really good. I thought this was a really good book.
Yeah, I remember you saying that you liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm. And it's like weird enough to where it kind of dabbles in fantasy, but it's also a little bit of horror too. So I feel like this is a really safe bet, is The Dark Between the Trees.
Okay.
If you want to try that one. It's a little folk horror too, is what they said. Is how it's described. And then last but not least, we have Black Mouth by Ronald Malfi. And this is probably one of...
I've heard you talk about this
Yeah,
Malfi
this
guy.
is one of my favorite.
What else is this guy?
Books. He wrote Bone White. That's another
I've heard
good
of that
one.
book, yeah.
So there's a few others that just can't come to mind right now. But this one is about a group of kids. This is also a dual timeline. This was... I don't know if you remember me doing the review on this.
It's always a bunch of kids, huh? It's always kids, too.
It is.
I think if you did like your top 5 horror genre tropes, it'd be
that
like
would
kids,
definitely be one of them.
Cults, people forgetting their memory probably.
That's actually one I don't like.
And you do it all. That's horror though.
The memory? No, it's recovering memories. It's not
same thing.
It's not someone that has lost their. I don't like that actually.
I don't remember what happened in this traumatic part of my life, but at the end I remember, and I killed my whole family. The end.
You should write a book.
It's just good. Mark that one off your list right now.
Rico's reads,
That's
everybody.
on your list. Mark it off.
Rico's
I've
writing.
already read that one.
But anyways,
so
Black Mouth, it is about some kids, and they have some sort of traumatic event in the past.
Do they remember it?
They remember it a little bit. It's been a while since I've read this book. Now that you've been talking all this time, I'm trying to remember what it was about.
Someone has a black mouth.
No. And so then they start, it's two timelines. So it's when they're kids and then when they're adults. and some of the strange occurrences and murders that were happening as when they were children starts happening again. So they're trying to figure out either what has caused this to happen and how it connects to their childhood trauma, basically.
Okay.
It's a lot cooler than it sounds. I didn't really give a very good review of it, but when I read this, it's supposed to be, it was compared to It, which I did get that vibe from it. I got a very, a really camaraderie, with the kids versus, in some books they try to, but
it's
it
just
doesn't.
not there.
It's not there. And this one I felt like it came really easily. So that one, this was probably one of my favorite reads of last year. I really, really liked it. And
They have rotten, what? They have rotten teeth?
No.
What's it called? Blackmouth.
Just read the book and you'll find out.
All right.
So
I swear if they have rotten teeth.
They don't have rotten teeth. This isn't your childhood. This is someone else's.
I had a great childhood.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so pick one of these, and you have to read them.
So I'll commit to 3, and we'll see where that goes, right?
Wow.
How many did you do when I recommended?
Yeah,
you did 3.
Yeah, but the book I read was like 16 hours.
I'm going to feel like I'm in these books for like 30 hours.
So drama.
The ones that appeal to me, I think, are the ones that probably aren't just horror from the way you described them.
Right.
So I've got to crap all over this Last House on Needless Street, so I will read that one. The only thing I remember you really talking about it is that there's a cat, and you also said that it's slow in the beginning. I remember you telling me that. It is a little
slow. I mean, with Catriona Ward books, I've said before, it is a little slow to get into, but it's a big payoff. And I feel like that's necessary in this book. In a lot of her stories, I feel like
it's necessary to be a boring book.
I didn't say boring. I said slow.
Okay.
If you can't comprehend a slow story, that is not my fault.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll do it.
Okay.
I hope you're right. Okay.
Just read it.
All right. So The Last House on Needless Street. I'll do that one just because you've talked about it forever.
I already knew you would.
Slade House sounds really cool.
Yeah, I figured you'd pick that one.
Yeah, so let's do Slade House. So Slade House, that's the one where the house just disappears and it comes back.
Yes.
It's like Willy Wonka, right? When he tries to find the house when his parents leave.
Yes, and they're gone.
The new one with Johnny Depp, and like they're gone, the house is gone. Okay, so I'll do that one. And then, so The Deep, I'm probably going to pass on. I'm not huge in like water stuff, like mermaid. Is it a mermaid?
Is it because you can't swim?
Is it a mermaid?
No, it's not a mermaid.
And I swim great, okay?
Are you a mermaid?
I was all-state swimmer.
No, you weren't.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't. Okay. All right, so not The Deep. Oh, Ararat. Ararat?
Yeah, that's a really, that's
a
solid read. That is when they go to Mount Ararat and they think that they found
the boat.
The Ark, yeah.
Okay.
So
okay, I'll commit to that one as well.
Okay.
And then I'll do some honorable mentions because I'll probably end up reading more than you. You did 3. I'll probably end up doing like
5.
I'll commit to 4. I'll commit to 4. Oh, I hope these books are good. If not, it's gonna be tough. Wait, what? How long do I have to read them? A month?
Yeah, I guess about a month because that's about how long I took.
Okay. I'll do a month. And I'll do The Library of Mount Char. That was the one with the family and something about a daddy or something. I'll do that one.
Daddy, the father.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying you'll do Slade House. That's a pretty short book.
Okay.
Last House on Needless Street, again, isn't really that long. None of these are very long. Ararat and The Library at Mount Char. I think The Library at Mount Char is the longest.
Okay.
And I'm sure.
How long?
I think it's 450 pages.
450 pages?
Oh, really? You were just bragging about how you read The Stand. Or did you forget?
Well, you're right. It is a little bit of a lighter read for me. But, okay. I'm used to reading bigger books than that.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
I'm sure you are.
And then The Children of the Red Peak didn't... You said you didn't like it, so why would I like it?
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of things that I like that you don't. Or that you don't like.
Yeah, I probably won't read that. The Dark Between the Trees. I think Blackmouth I would probably read as well. We'll put that on the maybe list. We'll put that on the maybe. But I'll start with Last House on Needless Street.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, we will keep you guys updated, and we'll
if you want to read along with these, you want to read the cat book, Last House on Needless Street. That'll be the first one I read. If you ever always wanted to be a cat, this is your book.
It's not like you are a cat. It's just
Can I run around the house on all fours?
You already do that, though.
Poop in random spots in the house.
It's getting weird.
I'm assuming that's what a cat does. That's what our cat does.
No, he doesn't.
Our cat's the worst.
No, he is not.
I'll bring our cat for the next video.
Oh gosh.
He'll probably poop on camera. Stupid
no,
cat.
he won't. Just
all
drama.
right, well, we gotta go.
Okay, well, so we'll keep you updated. We'll see how all these go. See if Rico can live up to all this talk. He's always talking. But hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.